Hi. So I am coming on because I am getting a pretty significant download about legacy. So somebody out there needs to hear about legacy today, and that yes, you can pursue it and you can do the things that you need to do to pursue and protect your legacy. See, the trauma culture has had us focused in the past for so long that we have forgotten how to live forward, right? In planning and saving and hoarding, we have told ourselves that we are planning for a future that isn't here yet, but we're using all the strategies of the past to do it. And there is a really, really, really big pull right now around legacy and building legacy. And that is something that isn't material. It is something that has meaning to you, right? You are the meaning maker. I am assuming that if you are building a business, your intention with that business is for it to expand and grow beyond you into something more than what you can just imagine, but that will serve people after you, either your children or your clients or your customers, consumers. But it is something that you are envisioning expanding into the future. You can't do that building off of yesterday's models, right? And that's what I mean by legacy. We are really being called and pushed right now to look at our relationships and what we are doing in every now moment and asking ourselves, is this choice that I am making, this thing that I am engaging in, this person that I am engaged in a relationship with, no matter what kind of relationship that is, are these feeding my legacy, my purpose, my mission, what I see feeding future growth, right? Like, is this aligned with the principles and values that I want to see developing in the world? And if it is not serving the legacy, the values and the principles that we want to see grow and expand in the world, giving myself the permission to cut it out. Because in all honesty, if it is serving your past, but not serving your legacy, if it is not growing forward with you, it's not for you anymore. It is done. It was meant to be left behind, or it would still be growing with you. If it is not still growing with you and is instead causing delay, stagnation, pain, harm, consuming your resources, it is not for you. You can take an inventory of every single thing in your life and every relationship and take note. When this thing, this person, place, or thing came into my awareness and I began a relationship with it, because anything that we are paying attention to, we are engaged in relationship with, whether it is animate or not. So is this thing that I have engaged in relationship with, this person, place, or thing, is it costing me time, money, energy? Like, did these things start going down? Because if it's a reciprocity situation, you'll stay balanced. And if it is something that is feeding your growth, you will grow, they will grow, and you'll both grow, right? The ladder. Because you'll grow, it'll inspire growth in them, which will inspire growth in you, and you keep going. That's how we work. But if it is costing and your resources, your time, attention is the only resource, time is just a measure of attention, presence is your physical attention and form. If any of your resources start going down in the engagement, it is not legacy building. And you have complete permission to make the decisions necessary to protect your legacy, your children, your home, the environments that you work in to create and produce your being, yourself, your attention. Right? For me, with people, this became about changing a few perspectives. Right? There are a few things I stopped doing with people. One, I stopped assuming that other people process their information and experiences the same as I do. Once I let go of that and stopped comparing, all of a sudden I didn't really care about their judgment as much, right? So I stopped assuming other people process their experience the same way as I did. I stopped assuming other people prioritized things the same way I did. I stopped assuming that other people shared the same principles and values as I did. In fact, I stopped assuming that other people had any and just started letting them show me whether they did or not. And if they don't, I don't walk with them because I am not letting go of my principles and values ever again for anybody. And here's another thing that I really did do with people that has been a huge difference, right? It changes how I see everything. And it is why I am able to stay focused on legacy and cut people out and still remain hopeful. And that is, I stopped looking at people and wondering what their backstory was. And instead, I started imagining their comeback. Right, like I live on a street where there is a homeless shelter just down the road and a park on the other side. So there are people walking by all the time. I don't imagine their backstory and how they got there. I don't sit there and focus on the negative differences. Instead, I write the story of their comeback. And I go, oh my gosh, it's going to be so amazing to see it. There's so much potential in that story for their comeback. And there is for everybody. But I start imagining their comeback. And I start thinking and fueling my energy towards that in people. I fuel all of my thought towards the growth in people because we all have the potential for growth. I just don't imagine what that potential is, but I imagine the potential of growth in everybody. And if they aren't demonstrating it now, they're not in my garden and I cut them out. Because I don't assume that other people prioritize or have the same values or process the same as I do or want to live the same as I do. So if I can't respect the way a person lives, not my garden, let them go. Anyway, this is your permission to pursue your legacy and to prune your garden as you see fit. Love you.